In the last lecture, we have seen the stacks concept. This In this lecture, we are going to see the queues. Basically, this stacks and queues are the elementary data structures that already we have discussed in the last lecture. Elementary in the sense these are the very basic data structures, because without these two data structures, more complex data structures cannot be manipulated. More complex data structures in the sense which are non-linear in nature, such as trees and graphs. For graphs and trees, we need to have these stacks or queues for the purpose of doing operations such as tree operations, maybe insertion, traversal, etc. In case of graphs, that also traversal, etc. For all these things, we need to have the basic data structures, or we can say fundamental data structures called stacks and queues. So in this lecture, I will give the explanation of the queues. That means I will present the theoretical concept of queue and programming. So queue, as the name itself indicates, that we are always wherever we go, we always stand in queue for getting our work to be done, like standing queue at the ticket distribution center, or standing in queue at a bus stop to get into the bus. So these are all the general queue operations. In queue, what will happen is whatever the whatever the data element, or whatever the person who are standing in the queue will be served first, the one who are at the end will be served last. Where in case of stack operation, the one who came first will be served last, and the one who came at last will be served first. That is in case of stacks. So that reason stacks are having the property of last in, first out. That means last come, first serve. That means whoever the person will come at the end will be served first. So where in case of queue, it is going to be followed the first in, first out property, or first come, first serve property. So the first in, first out property will be required, or will be the property of queue. That means in any complex data structures, if you want to perform operations in the fashion of last in, first out, or last come, first serve, then you are supposed to use stack operations, or you can use the stack data structures there. Where in case of in any complex data structure, or any complex situation where you need to operate, or you need to perform the operations based on first come, first serve basis, then there you can use queue operations or queue data structure. So that is the reason, that is the way you are supposed to think of these two elementary data structures. Depending upon the problem situation, you must think of which data structure to be used there. So the best example of queues are like this. The customer service system implemented queue to provide services in, first out manner. Example, railway reservation system. So whoever get into the queue first will get the ticket first. So in the same way, the printer service software use queue operation. That means whatever the document that you have given for print first, okay, will be printed first. Then the rest of the documents will be printed, or rest of the pages will be printed. That means the pages that you have given to the, or submitted to the printer for printing, will be printed in the first in, first out fashion. Next is the traversal of the graph, that is breadth first search traversal. This is a method that we will see whenever we get the graphs concept into the, when we are discussing the graphs concept. So traversal means how we will go through the graph from a particular source to destination. In what way you will traverse the particular graph, so that you can visit all the nodes in the particular graph. So that is done by the breadth first search. In order to perform the breadth first search traversal, you need to have the queue. That means you need to consider the elementary data structure queue, without which you cannot perform this breadth first search traversal. There is another traversal technique in graph which is called a depth first search. That means a graph can be traversed in two ways, either via depth first search or breadth first search. If you want to traverse a graph with the depth first search manner, then you are supposed to use stacks. If you want to traverse a graph with the breadth first search way, then you are supposed to use queues. That means this depth first search will use whatever the node that visited last will be. That means whatever the node which is at the last will be visited first. Where in case of breadth first search, whatever the node which will be visited first will be visited. So this is the fashion of pattern that where the visiting of the nodes in the graph will take place. So that is the reason, depending upon the problem situation, you need to think of which elementary data structure, such as stack or queue, is required for implementing the complex data structures operations. Now we will move on to the queue concept. So queue is an elementary data structure in which insertion is done from one end and deletion is done from another end. Where in case of stack, insertion and deletion will be done only from the one particular end. It is just like assume a bus with only one door. That means everyone has to get into the bus from that door and has to get out from that door only. Okay, so whenever that bus came, then the travelers or the passengers who get into the bus, the one who get into the bus first, obviously whenever he wants to get down, then obviously he has to wait till all the persons has to get down, then only he can get down. Assume that the bus is full and the one passenger is on the footboard. That means that is the person who came last and traveling on footboard. Okay, so that whenever the bus stops, he is the one who is getting out of the bus first. That means the one who came last is getting out first. So this is a kind of a stack operation. That means here the insertion will be done at insertion and deletion will be done only from one place. Where in case of queue, somewhat relaxation was given. That means here the insertion will be done at one end, but deletion will be done from some other end. It is just like a bus consisting of two doors. One is for entry and one is for exit. It is just like that. So the one who entered into the bus first via entry door can exit first from the exit door. So it is just like this. So we are going to maintain two pointers, where in case of stack we have maintained only one pointer called top pointer. Based upon the top pointer of increment or decrement, that insertion or that is push and pop operations are going to be implemented. Where in case of queue, we will maintain two pointers. One is for indication of the insertion and one is for indication for the removal. So those two pointers are said to be front pointer and rear pointer. Usually the insertion will be done at rear and deletion will be done from the front. So the queue is a linear data structure in which insertion is done from one end and deletion is done from another end. In stack, insertion is done from one insertion and deletion operation will be done from only one end. Okay. The item inserted first will be deleted first. Example of queue is standing in queue at a payment reception or payment center. So this is an example, and queue will follow the first in first out fashion. Operations on queue, it is just like how the operations on stack takes place. In the same way, operations on queue can also be done. For example, insertion operation. Okay, insertion operation. Insertion of an item into queue is known as insertion operation. Here, delete operation, deletion of a element from the queue. So for insertion, we'll take care of the rear pointer, and for deletion, we'll take care of the front pointer. Okay. Where in case of traversal, so traversal in the sense we need to traverse the queue. Obviously, we need to traverse the queue from front to rear. so that we'll get the what are the elements that are present in the queue. Note, insertion in queue will be done from rear and deletion is done from front. So, note, insertion in queue is done from rear and deletion is done from front. So you consider this point as the point for insertion and deletion operations in queue. As like in stacks, there are two ways of implementing elementary data structure. Either you can implement the stack and queue statically, that means the memory can be created at the time of compilation, or you may use dynamic memory allocation. That means either you can that means the stack can grow and shrink dynamically, or queue can grow and shrink dynamically. For that, you are supposed to use dynamic memory allocation related data structure called linked list, where in case of static way of representing the queue or stack, you are supposed to use static memory allocation such as array. So here, static implementation of queue, make it remember that rear will be used for insertion operation and front is used for the removal operation. Initially, if there are no elements in the queue, front and rear is initialized to -1. It is just like how top pointer is initialized to -1. In the same way, we are going to initialize the front and rear operations, rear pointers to -1. That means which indicates that the queue is initial. That is, it is an initial queue. Next is after insertion of first element, then the front and rear values are incremented by 1. That means here the queue with one element is this one. Usually we no need to increment the front pointer, but we can make the front pointer as -1 itself, and the rear can be incremented by 1. But this in this slide, the a little bit variant they have shown here. That means it is purely based upon the manipulation that you do. Either you are going to use the post increment operator or pre increment operator. Based on that, you are supposed to manipulate this front and rear operations so that insertion and deletion will be done in the queue. Okay. So now the front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to 0. That means it indicates that one element is present in the queue. If you want to insert another element called 2, then because the insertion will be done at rear, the rear pointer will be incremented by 1, then r is equal to 1, then you are going to insert the value 2 into the queue. Next, if you want to insert element 3 into the queue, then the rear pointer will be incremented by 1, so that the element 3 is inserted into the queue. Now, if you want to delete an element from the queue, then the deletion will be done with the help of the front pointer. So that means if the front pointer is incremented by 1, then obviously the element which are going to be deleted, that is 1, will be removed from the queue. So now delete an element from queue. Since the front value is incremented by 1, so obviously you are going to get the element that is at the 0th position of the queue, so that the element will be deleted from the queue. Now delete one more element from the queue, so that front value will be incremented by 1. Now front is equal to rear, so that now the front will become the rear. That means front and rear will be having at the same position. Since the front is incremented by 1, the 2 will be removed from the queue. So queue with one element. So here now there exists only one element. So how can you say that how many elements are there in the queue? The number of elements are there in the queue can be calculated as front minus rear plus 1. So here 2 minus 2, which is 0, plus 1, that means only one element is there. So the operation, the simple calculation that you use for calculating how many number of elements are there in the queue is via the operation such as via the calculation such as rear minus front plus 1. Assume that when the queue is at the initial position, rear is -1 and front is -1. Rear minus front plus 1. So which is going to give you 0. That means 0 elements are there in the queue. So in this way, you are supposed to calculate the number of elements that are there in the queue. Okay. Next, whenever you insert another element, so if you keep on inserting the elements like ray, as the number of elements are inserting into the queue, the rear pointer will be incremented. Whenever the rear is incremented and reaches the maximum size of the array, then you can assume that the queue is full. So this queue is full is a queue is full kind of checking can be done only in the case of static queues, because we are going to use fixed memory or fixed array size for queue operations. Where in case of dynamic way of representing the queues, this stack is full cannot be implemented, because as the number of elements come into the uh, into the queue, we are going to accommodate via creating the nodes dynamically. So that is the reason there we are not going to check the whether the queue is full or not. But in case of static implementation of queues, we are supposed to implement the whether the queue is full or not. So it is just like uh, any server, which are connected with various clients. It is in the client server architecture. Either it may be a mobile server, or it may be an SMS server, or it may be any other server in the communication networks. Obviously, whenever the client has sent a request, all those requests will be kept in queue. And one more thing is, and for every queue, there will be a size of the queue which are accommodated for the servers. If the queue size of the server was exceeded, that means the number of requests received at the queue was exceeded the size of the queue, then those requests will be dropped. That is the reason, if you whether you have observed or not, in any festival season, nowadays everyone is using WhatsApp messages, but around 8 to 9 years back, there is no much internet facility. When the people are using 2G or 3G, then people used to send SMS during the festival time or festival days for greeting their friends and family members. If you can observe at the time, whenever you send SMS during that particular period, there will be a peak period will be there. Whenever an SMS was sent, obviously the SMS servers has to receive that particular SMS and has to dispatch to the corresponding mobile number. And because of the lot of SMS that are coming into the server, so sometimes it is very difficult for the server to hold all those SMSs and process them and send or dispatch to the corresponding mobile number. This is the problem you might have seen almost 8 to 9 years back. The reason is the servers are unable to hold that many SMSs or SMS requests. The reason is the corresponding size of the queue of the corresponding SMS was completely full. So that means if too much crowd is there, the servers cannot hold that many requests at once. Thereby, what will happen is the number of requests that can be held at the maximum size of the queue may be processed, but the additional requests that will come out of the maximum queue size will be dropped. Thereby, your SMS sometimes may not reach to the destinated mobile number, or sometimes if the queue length is somewhat too high, and based upon the processing capability of the server, if the SMSs are processed, and you may realize that even though you send an SMS, usually it is a common process that the SMS has to reach to the destination immediately within a maximum of 10 to 20 seconds. But sometimes you may find the thing that the SMS has not reached till evening, till evening of the day, even though you have sent the SMS in the morning. So this kind of things will be happened if the queue length and the queue size was not properly managed in the servers. So that is the reason queue is an elementary data structure which plays a major role in many of the servers. That is the reason it is having a lot of importance in the communication networks, especially in the server operations, to hold the requests from the clients. So that is the reason this data structure is a very important data structure. Not only queue, even stacks are also very important. I will tell you the application of stack, then you realize how important the stack is in the coming lectures. So I hope by this time you have understood the importance of queue. Now, whenever the rare pointer reaches the maximum size of the queue, obviously you have to think that the queue is full. No more element is allowed to insert into the queue. Now, insert one more element into the queue. Obviously, you cannot do it. There will be overflow as rare is at a maximum size -1. Hence, there may be some wastage of space in simple queue. The reason is if you might have deleted if you might have deleted some elements, obviously these two spaces are empty. But since the rare is reached to the maximum position, you cannot insert more number of elements even though you have two slots are free. So that is the reason we are going to see the operation of circular queues in the next lecture, where this space can be saved by maintaining a circular fashion of the pointer, so that unnecessarily, even though the rare is reached the maximum, even though some spaces are empty in the queue, those spaces can be utilized perfectly. So this is what the basic idea of the circular queues, so that the space cannot be wasted. But in normal queues, in static queues, the space will be wasted in general. The reason is the condition we are going to check is rare is equal to maximum, then we are going to declare it as queue is full. Now tell me how many elements are there in the queue. How we are going to calculate this? We are going to calculate via rare is equal to rare minus front plus 1. That is the number of elements that are there in the queue. Now rare is at the position 4, front is at the position 2, 4 minus 2, 2 plus 1, 3. That means here the number of elements in queue are 3. So this is the way how we are going to use this particular static queue implementation. So this is the code related to the static implementation of queue. Now initially the front is equal to -1 and rare is equal to -1. Insertion will be done like this. When the rare is equal to maximum size, then you are going to print it as overflow. And since the insertion will be done at rare, we are going to check the rare pointer and increment the rare pointer, and the item will be inserted. Like the delete operation, deletion will be done at front, and the traversal operation from front to rare, we need to traverse the queue and corresponding values to be printed. This is the static implementation of queues, where in case of dynamic implementation of queue, we are going to use a single linked list. In stack operations, in the dynamic implementation, we have seen, since in stacks, the insertion will be done at one end and deletion will also be done at one end. That is the reason we have used two operations, such as inserting at front and deleting at front as the push and pop operation for in the case of dynamic implementation of stacks. Where in case of queue, the property is somewhat different. What is the property to be used here? The property to be used is the insertion will be done at rare and deletion will be done at front. That means you can realize in a single linked list operation, insertion at end can realize that insertion operation of queue, deletion at front can realize deletion operation from the queue. So very simple that once you know the stack of once you know the single linked list operation, just you use insert at end for representing the insertion of the element into the dynamic queue, and remove from front will be used for removing element from a dynamic queue. So it is quite simple. So only thing is we should have the perfect knowledge of how to implement the single linked list operations such as inserting at front, inserting at middle, and inserting at rear, removing at front, removing at a position, removing at a end. If you know all these operations perfectly, only thing is based upon the property of this elementary data structure, this dynamic implementation can be done by choosing the appropriate functions. Okay, so by this time you might have clear that how this particular dynamic implementation of queue can be done. So in the dynamic implementation of queue, you simply use single linked list in which the insertion will be done at rear. That means insertion will be done at end, and removing operation will be done in general in queue from front. So you use the operation of the single linked list, that is removing of an element from front. That's all. With this, dynamic queue implementation will be completed. Now we'll move on to the uh, implementation of queue. So I'm going to create an empty file. So Control SQ. So which implements the static queue. Hash include stdio.h as usual. So here I'm going to define maximum size of the queue, say for example 20. So which indicates that it's a maximum size that to be implemented for the queue. So I'm going to declare two pointers, front and rear. So initially I'm going to initialize this front and rear pointers. Front is equal to rear is equal to -1. So the initialization of the front and rear was done. Now we need to think of the operations. What are the different operations in queue? Queue operations, or we can say static queue operations. So the static queue operations are insert, remove, and traverse. So insert. So since I am going to implement an integer queue, so insert some integer value. So whenever you remove, obviously you have to, whenever you remove it, so you are supposed to get the inserted element. Since the inserted element is integer type, so we are supposed to get the integer return type. So void remove, and traverse is also a void type because we are supposed to print the elements in the queue. Any helper functions. So we need to have helper functions. So the helper function is queue length, because we need to take care of the queue length also, or sometimes user require queue length, and any other helper function. So to check whether the stack is queue is full or not, is full. So when can you say stack is full? You can say stack is full when when can you say queue is full? You can say queue is full when the rear reaches the maximum. So let will define this is full, int is full. So when can you say queue is full? Return rear equal to max. When rear equal to max, then you can say queue is full, otherwise 0. So how can you get the queue length? The queue length can be achieved with the help of a formula, simple formula, that rear minus front plus 1. Next, helper functions are over. Now we need to implement the main operations: insert, remove, and traverse. So void insert of integer value, some value to be inserted into the queue. When can you insert a element into the queue? If not is full, you can insert in the element into the queue. If not is full, then so first of all, for all these things, first of all we need to define a queue. Int queue of max. That means I'm going to declare a size of queue, maximum size of queue. So here queue of so insertion will be done at rare. So initially rare is initialized to -1. So obviously the array index will start from 0. So what I'm going to do is plus rare. So that thereby what will happen? Now the rare will be incremented by 1. So -1 plus 1. So it will become 0. Q of 0 is equal to value. So thereby what will happen? The element will be inserted at the 0th position in the queue. So here we can also do along with rare plus rare. We can do that if rare, that means we may use like this simple rare is equal to 0. Now q of 0 is equal to value. Else you can say that printf q is full. Q is full. Thereby we'll come to know that. And sometimes in order to feel that okay, in order to feel that initially front is equal to rare is equal to -1, but here if you look at uh, whenever the first element is inserted in the queue, we have incremented the front. Here we have incremented the rare and also front. So basically this manipulation is somewhat difficult to do. So at the insertion level itself, there is reason we can also make since the rare to be placed at -1, we can also make rare is equal to -1 and front can be initialized to 0 here itself. Thereby rare minus front -1 minus 0 is -1 plus 1 -1 plus 1 is 0. So the queue length will become 0. So the queue length is rare minus front. So rare is -1 minus 0 is -1 minus 0 is -1 only plus 1 is equal to 0. So that means initially there are no elements in the queue. In this way also we can say that okay, the there are no elements in the queue. So like that also we can manipulate. See, it's only based upon the how you manipulate the front and rear operations. What are the initial values that you take from the front and rear? So theoretically, everything is fine. Everything looks fine. But while coming for the programming, these kind of small manipulations we need to do. Obviously, this manipulations depends upon the programmers, how they will manipulate the front and rear operation. So currently, what I am doing is I am initializing the rear as -1 and front as 0. So thereby, now since the first element is inserted plus rare, that means it is coming to 0. Now we will apply this operation. We will apply this Q length formula. Rare currently is 0 and front is also 0. 0 minus 0 is 0 only plus 1. That means one element is there. First time whenever we insert an element. So it also looks fine. It is also satisfying the Q length calculation. Next is next operation to be implemented is remove operation. Int remove. So when can you remove the element from the queue? So you can remove the element from the queue if the front that is if the front value is less than rare value, then only you can remove the element from the queue. That means if the front is equal to rare, what will happen? If the friend is equal to rare, that means that there exists if the friend crosses the rare, then we can say that obviously there are no elements in the queue. So that is the reason we will also do one. We will also make one helper function here. Int is empty. So this is empty to be checked if int is empty. So return front is greater than rare. If the front is greater than rare, that is it will return 1, else it will return 0. Okay. So or we can also say that if queue length is equal to 0, then we can say that if the queue length is equal to 0, then we can say that there are no elements in the list. So that is the reason we can also say return queue length. If queue length is equal to 0, then we can say it is empty. Otherwise, it is not empty. So when can you say queue length will become 0? You're supposed to use the formula rare minus friend plus 1. So if the rare is 0 and front is minus 1 plus 1, then it will become 0. So initially there are no elements. So if there are no elements, queue is empty. So if the queue is empty, you cannot remove the element. So it is just like this. If not is empty, then return queue of front, because here initially we require assigning of the value, then increment front plus plus. So thereby what will happen? First q of 0 will be returned, then in memory front value will be incremented by 1. Else if the queue is not empty, if the queue is empty, then else return some error code like -99, which indicates our error code. So this is the way how the removing operation will be done. Now traverse operation, void traverse. So the traverse will be done from the front to rear. So from when can you traverse? If not is empty. If not is empty, you have to traverse the list. For int I is equal to front, I less than equal to rear, I plus plus, printf percentile d, comma q of I. That's all. So it will print the number elements in the queue. If not empty, that is, if the queue is empty, then else printf queue is empty. So for the some display beautification, what I did is I will go for printf percentile backslash. So this is the traverse operation. Now the helper functions are over. Next general operations of queue is also completed. Now let will go for the void main method implementation, because in C programming the program execution will start from main method. Now main method implementation is like this. So first of all, what I'm going to do is insert of 10, insert of 20, insert of 30, insert of 4040. Now traverse. So this traverse will print what are the elements are there in the queue. Now let will compile and we'll see whether here some default functions are there. That means the functions that are used in the header file. Usually we don't know whether those functions we have directly used here or not. So what is the reason is this remove is a function is already available in the header file. That is the reason insert remove queue. Okay, what I will do is I will change it from remove queue. Okay, remove queue. So that means we are going to remove an element from the queue. Now I hope it won't give you any error. Well, so the output what we got is 10, 20, 30 and 40. So this is the output we got. That means the elements are inserted into the queue. The insertion of the elements were done in the queue. The element which came inserted into the queue first is 10. So that reason in the output the first element is 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is the way the insertion was done. Now let will go for printf %d. So this is the removal operation. %d remove queue. Okay, remove queue, and here what we'll do is let will calculate the queue length is %d \n comma queue length. Well, so now after this let will see what is the queue length after removal. So 10, 20, 30, 40, queue length is 4. The first element to be removed is 10. Now the queue length is 3. So this is the way how the static queue will be implemented. So the basic operations are over. This is the static queue implementation. Now we'll see how the dynamic queue will be implemented. So the DQ, now the dynamic queue. So in order to implement the dynamic queue, I will take the help of single linked list operations. Now I will open the SLL file. So in the single linked list operation, in that video you can see in the description section that you will find the single linked list code. The same code I am using here. Just I am copying it and pasting into the DQ. Now what I will do is I will use only the operations that are required for us. So the insertion will be done from the front, insertion will be done from the rear, and deletion will be done from the front. That means we are going to use the removal operation, sorry, insertion operation as insert at rear, and removal operation as the removal from the front. So this is what the thing we are using. So in this create node is required, isEmpty is also required, and display is also required. Insert at begin is not required for us. So let will remove this insert at begin. Insert end is required for us. Void at insert at position is also not required. Remove at beginning is required. Remove at end is not required. Remove at position is not required. List length is required. Such list is not required. So create node is required. isEmpty is required. Display is required. Insert at begin is not required. Remove at begin is required. Insert at end is required. List length is also required. Remove at end is not required. Such list is also not required. Insert at position is also not required for us. And remove at position is also not required. Now anyhow, in the previous program, we have done the function definitions. Sorry, queue operation. Static queue operations. So now I'm copying and pasting the same operations here in the dynamic queue. Here, along with this, I'm declaring these functions. This is dynamic queue operations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to define these functions. Insert function, insert value. So in order to use insertion, insert at end. That's all. Just you call the insert at function. It is over. Now remove queue. Remove at begin or remove at front. So return, since remove at begin will return the integer value. So return remove at begin. Traverse. Whenever you say traverse, just to say display. Just to call the display function. That's all. Our dynamic queue implementation is completed. In the static queue, what are the things that I have written in the thing? And we are also having this function, another function called int queue length. Int queue length. So the same function I'm implementing here. Int queue length. So what it is returning? It should return the list length. Return list length. That's all. Same functions that I am using in the I have used in the previous program. The same function I am using here. Let us see. Well, so 10, 20, 30, 40 are the queue elements. The queue length is 4. So we have removed the element from the queue. The 10 is removed and the queue length is 3 now. That's all. This is the dynamic implementation of queue. Simple. We have used the insert at end for the insertion operation and remove at begin for the removing of the element from the queue. So that's all for the queues implementation in the static and queue. In the next lecture, we will see the circular queue operation using circular linked list and some other things that are related for the with the element data structures that are stacks and queues.